you showed a study that you did of local citations and listings. One of the services that you listed, which is one of my favorite controversial services out there, was Yext, which has been, over its history, like I said, a controversial service provider. How do you think that their service could be improved so that better serves their clients, or what should people consider strongly before signing up for a Yext-like service based on that research and anything else that you know?
Oh, I love that question.
I know, right? Everybody's favorite.
Yeah, the thing about Yext is the slide chart you haven't seen, which is what I presented at MN Search Summit. We did a couple of case studies where we tested what happens when you cancel Yext, and then we also tested what happens when you sign up for Yext.
Ooh, good. I like it.
So when you basically, the summary of what happens when you cancel is you generally lose all of your listings. So what happens is, you sign up for Yext, they sync to the sites that they work with. Mm-hmm. So they'll grab one listing, they sync to it, and then after your subscription expires, the syncing leaves, and most of those listings go back to their previous form. So if they had the wrong phone number, they revert back to the wrong phone number, or they just get removed. So sometimes Yext will just create a new listing rather than syncing with one that's on the site.
Correct.
And so if it's a Yext created listing, it generally gets removed.
Yep.
So when you cancel, so you get it basically, your listings are held ransom for as long as you're paying Yext. If you stop paying Yext, you lose them.
I didn't know that. That's terrible.
Yeah, so it starts that way. No. And then it's interesting to me, what I've found really fascinating was our study about what happens when you sign up for Yext. So like a small business, Yext is a very aggressive sales team. They're calling businesses all the time about how Yext will solve all their listing problems. And so you run this scan on the Yext site, and it shows you all of these errors. And there's a big fat button at the bottom that says, fix all my listings. Actually, I think it says, fix your listings everywhere.
Yeah.
So there's two fallacies to that. One part is the everywhere, because, in my opinion, only about 20-25 of the sites on their distribution list are of any value. There's a lot of these like small, inconsequential websites that really don't have any impact on local search.
Right.
So there's a lot of this, and there's a whole bunch of mobile apps and GPS navigation system stuff in there too. So if you're only doing it to improve your local search presence, you're hitting about 20 to 25 sites that are of value. And so that's the everywhere part. And the other part is to fix your listing. So what we found is that when we sign up, we took a business that had a pretty messy citation profile. We did a complete audit of all of their listings within the Yext network, like on the Yext sites. Mm-hmm. And we signed them up to Yext to see what happened. And then what we saw was really interesting. So what Yext often does is they'll claim a listing on the site, but they leave the 4 incorrect ones on the site. They're just still sitting there.
Yep.
And so they did that across about 20 different sites that we looked at, where they didn't really fix the problem, because although they've made a new listing that does have the correct information, all the incorrect listings are still there. So that's research that we're going to be publishing soon. And so
this stuff.
That's Darren, a lot of negative stuff about Yext. I'll tell you where Yext is awesome.
Okay.
I actually recommend Yext in this instance. Let's say you are a multi-location brand and you have 500 plus locations, even 300 plus locations. It is impossible for you to manually go through 50 different websites for hundreds and hundreds of locations and claim and update and keep all of that information accurate and up to date. And not only that, you have businesses, you have locations that are opening, locations that are closing, locations that change their hours. They have specialty hours at Christmas time. All of that stuff can be managed in the Yext dashboard with the push of a button. So if you're a multi-location business, the benefits of Yext are incredible. They also have this duplicate suppression option at the enterprise level. I've seen amazing things from that, where a brand that has 10,000 locations, they get this report from Yext saying, we found 400,000 duplicates across our network. Do you want to delete them? Yes. You press a button, boom, they're all gone. So only Yext has the power to do that. At the single location level, or even up to like 10 locations, 20 locations, it's much better in my mind to manage that manually, because you get to pick the sites, you get to claim the listings, you don't have to pay forever for them. Right. But at the enterprise and multi-location level, Yext is a good platform. So that's my take on it. I
think some of that stuff, we're talking about local SEO. If you're a local company, you're not going to have the 200, 300, 400 locations. I mean, then you're talking about essentially a national company that wants local listings. So, when a lot of the clients that we have are people that are just, regular normal everyday businesses are doing the one location, but they're the ones that Yext is targeting a lot. Those are the ones because they know that they're going to pick up the phone or that they're going to continue to carry on that conversation, whereas it's a little bit more difficult to get a hold of somebody that's going to be able to talk to them with the 300 location franchise kind of scenario. So it's really important.
The sales team is aggressively targeting small businesses, and that's where it bothers Yext's aggressive sales model and marketing seems a bit misleading to me, and so I don't really like them in that space. But in the enterprise space,
definitely makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. And I've seen where Yext is starting to buy a lot of these local directories. Like I forget what the one is. It Super Pages or something like that. Yext has bought them.
I think they're going City Finder as well.
City Finder, yeah. And so you can't sign up for those directories unless you sign up for Yext. Am I right about that?
That is correct. I think there's about 7 of them that are completely sold out to Yext. And so the only way to get a listing on that site or to claim your listing or update your listing is to go through Yext. Yep. And so when that happens, most businesses... my recommendation is to ignore those sites because they're not usually of that much value. Yahoo was a big one that was a real pain for a while.
Yep, that is true.
And it was important enough that people cared about it, but we were always able to find workarounds for our manual service.